What's good, elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. It's all starting to make sense now. It's all starting to come together. And all of this culminated in my head because Mark had Imani on Night School talking about Shannon Sharpe. One of the main things that Joe Budden got mad at Flip for doing. He still gets mad at Flip for doing. Stop speaking on topics that we're going to speak on the Joe Budden podcast. But Mark didn't get reprimanded. Mark didn't get a punishment. And Imani went over there and did views. So the first thing that came to my head is, why is Joe not upset at this movement even though Flip's done the same thing and got reprimanded? It's because Joe is thinking about bigger things. Podwives is way more important than I ever gave it credit for. And I haven't fully watched the episode, so I'm not really speaking on the episode itself. I'm talking about the business of Podwives. Joe is, outside of how he treats Melissa, he's making sure he says the correct things. He's making sure he's viewed positively in the eyes of women. And I keep making the correlation between love and hip-hop and what Joe is doing in general. But Podwives is him introducing all the ladies of the JBP, and he's going to create a standalone sitcom show universe around them and continue to keep the women invested in the JBP. What Joe is doing with the JBP now, and this is a long-term plan that I'm speaking on. Obviously, it's speculation. I actually don't know what the hell I'm talking about. This is just an opinion and a thought formulated in my head. Joe, what he is doing with Podwives, like I said, he's creating a universe. He's making sure all the women are constantly entranced with the content, and he's making sure that he brings people onto the JBP to get them, or to get us, the audience, invested in what it is that these people are doing. Before Mark became a permanent co-host, he made a couple of guest appearances. Before Melissa became a permanent co-host, she made a couple of guest appearances. Joe went on a run of guest appearances with Flip on other networks before Flip came and became a host. Joe is getting everyone into the ethos of the JBN, and then he's going to start off their own quote-unquote network, like a standalone. The women will be fully vested. We'll want to know what Sade's doing. We'll want to know what Jules is doing. We'll want to know what Cece's doing. If Keno and his lady can stay on the Podwives, we'll want to be invested in what it is that they're doing. Danny made a point on his video today talking about Keno might be trying to get onto the podcast. Joe might have other friends lurking. I don't see this as a negative thing, and I don't see Joe quote-unquote firing anyone. Mark Lamont Hill is here. I have my political segment. I'm getting the women, our ladies, and the people that watch us investing into the ladies up here so I can have a standalone women's network. I'm making sure I have my musical takes taken care of. I got Parks and Ice for that. Eventually, I'm going to get y'all invested into Zaire. I have my sports takes. It's still under my network. I'm still hoping for promising things from that. And Ian Dunlap, to me, is still going to be the final piece because that's going to be my financial side of things. And if I could ever get Ish on board, he could jump in that lane as well. Then I'll be fully covered. And now also, I've noticed that the JBN has started, or the JBP has started to take on a state of the culture approach to how they do the show. It used to be friends clowning on each other and sometimes speaking on cultural relevant topics, mainly them clowning on each other and just clowning on people. And now we are an outright news broadcast. He's doing what Tosh.0 used to do, except without the clips. He's talking on all the topics. He's putting his own spin on it, whether it's funny, whether it's serious, and he's putting his stamp on it. People look forward to what it is that he has to say. So if I can get everybody fully versed into the people that I bring on to the JBP, the JBN's going to explode. And I still haven't gotten that quote out of my head. Somebody telling me that he's looking to sell at the end of this year. It may not be sell, But he's absolutely going to add to the network. I remember I said at the beginning of the year, it's going to be 4 to 7 more shows. We saw 3. Improper Improv 2 got canceled, but BTS and Podwives is still going strong. I anticipate more shows coming. I anticipate Mark getting his own show, because Mark is smart enough to realize I'm not going to beat this consistent check. So as long as I give it my all and I'm able to do my own thing still and able to have my speeches and still be who I am and promote my business on the JBP, promote my shirts, because eventually it's going to come out that Mark has a printing press or some type of press where he makes his own clothing. Push that brand just like Ish is doing. Mark is doing everything that everyone's doing. Ish got the business outside. He got the clothing apparel. So does Mark. Flip got the social media. He got the content going. So does Mark. Ice is a host. So is Mark. Mark doing that too. Whatever it is that he wants to do, he's doing. And he knows he can get a consistent check from JBP. All he got to do is be himself. And side note, they did him foul on BTS. You got to pay attention to that, Mark, because I know you watch back. So you're going to see that everybody in the comment section is speaking on your eyes. I'm not the type to speak on appearance, because I be dry lipped, dry mouthed in a motherfucker whenever I appear on camera. So I'm right there with you. But you got to look at everybody in that room with you, sir. Nobody said a word. But, Joe, I do see the bigger play. I do see what it is that you're trying to do with Podwives and all the other shows that you have on your network and what will come in the future. I'm just getting everybody on the up and up. We got to pay attention. Anticipate Joe coming out with another iteration of either a Podwives where it's just the ladies, or Mark coming out with his own show within the next 3 months. I anticipate summer something coming out. Gotta keep us fully invested. He's taking the model of a bunch of streamers, if you haven't noticed, and I've always paid attention to this. Like Kai Cenat, he has like 7 streamers. He got them all in the house. What does that mean for him in the long run? Yes, y'all can bolster y'all names, y'all can become brands, but y'all are always going to be indebted to me. Y'all are always going to be tied to me. I remember telling Flip, whenever he signed his right away, giving his face up for the pictures, what happens when Joe's merch outsells your merch? What happens when you're always tied to the JBN as opposed to just being known as Queen's Flip? And you're already speaking on it. Talking about you saw Miss Pat. Shout out to Miss Pat. She's hilarious. She's vulgar, but she's hilarious. Talking about, oh, this is one of the co-hosts from the JBP, Flip. They don't know you as Queen's Flip anymore. So what happens with all these streamers? Make it big, but they're always indebted to Kai Cenat. What happens when Joe comes up with all these shows and everybody's getting paid, but I'm the one getting paid in perpetuity? Y'all are just getting paid up front. Something to think about. And I hope y'all don't fall into that trap, because Joe is taking the music model. He's doing it right in front of y'all faces. He spoke and complained about this for years, and it's funny to see that he's pulling the same tactics that Leo Cohen would do to him on y'all, and y'all aren't saying anything or noticing. The only person that seems to notice is Flip and Ish. So shout out to y'all. But I'm definitely looking forward to this summer. I appreciate everybody paying attention to the whole video. If you made it to the end, like the video. If you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know I appreciate you. Till tomorrow, got a new JBP episode coming out. Will Melissa return? Joe's talking about he didn't suspend her. I told y'all. I could be wrong, but I don't think this was another suspension. I think Melissa did this on her own volition, trying to prove a point. See what happens. But I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all be safe out here in this cold, cold world. Peace.